Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this blanket. It's a baby's blanket. The stitch is very nice, as you can see, it's knitted. Hope that you try it. I'm going to give you some information about an ebook that I wrote. This ebook is ideal for those new to crochet and knitting who want to learn. It's full of pictures. There are also patterns. I made some easy patterns. I included them in this ebook. It costs €4. Payable with PayPal. When I receive the notification of the payment, I will send it via email. You will find a link in the description from where you can purchase it. So for this pattern, needles, we're going to need number 4mm needles, and you make sure that the yarn that you use goes with the 4mm needles. You can use any other yarn, but make sure that the yarn that you use, you have the needles that go with it. When you buy the yarn, buy the needles that go with the yarn that you have. Now, we're going to start. We have to start by casting on. Now, casting on, we're going to cast 196 stitches. So we cast 196 stitches. The first stitch, as always, I prefer not to knit it. I put it directly on the needle without knitting it. And we're going to knit all the stitches that we have. So we knit all the stitches that we have. And we're going to knit 6 rows. So we knit the stitches here and we knit 6 rows. We continue knitting 6 rows. So the 6 rows are ready here, as you can see. We knitted them and we're going to start the 7th row now. So the first stitch, as always, I prefer not to knit it. Always I never knit the first stitch. I put it directly on the needle. And we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. With the first stitch, these are 4, the first 4. Now, we're going to purl. We purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, from these stitches that we are going to do now, we're going to repeat all the time. From now, always repeating what I'm going to show you. So, we start with the first 2. As I'm telling you, from now we're going to repeat what I will be doing. The first 2, we knit 2. 1 and 2. And we purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Again, we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. And we're going to knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, you will have more stitches because I'm working only on this to show you the pattern. So, you continue, knit 2, purl 8, knit 2, purl 8, knit 2, purl 8, until you arrive. You arrive at the last 4. You will have 4 remaining. And the last 4, the first 4 we knitted them. So, the last 4, we're going to knit them too. 1, 2, 3 and 4. I prefer to knit it from here, the last stitch, and that is the row ready. We're going to start the 8th row. The first one we put it directly on the needle as always, and we knit 3, 2, 1, 2 and 3. In all we have 4. The first 4 and the last 4 we knit them always. These 3 and the first one I don't knit it, and the last we knit them too. Now we're going to knit 8. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, sorry, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We're going to purl 2. Now these we're going to repeat. Purl 2, knit 8, purl 2, knit 8. So we purl 2, the first 2, 1 and 2, and we knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we purl 2. 1 and 2. We knit the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and you continue the row like that. And purl 2, knit 8, purl 2, knit 8, because you will have more stitches than I have. So purl 2, knit 8. We have the last 8 remaining, and we're going to knit, we knit them. 1, 2, 3, and the last one we knit it from here. And there we have the 8th row ready. We're going to start the row 9. The first one we put it directly on the needle and we knit the next 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to knit 8. 1, purl 8, 1, purl 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we knit 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We have the last 4. You continue with that pattern. We have the last 4, and we're going to knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We're starting the next row. The first one we put it directly on the needle and we knit 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to purl 2. 1 and 2. We knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we're going to purl 2. 1 and 2. We knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have the last 4 and we're going to knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this row is ready too. Row 11, the first one we put it on the needle and we knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we purl 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we're going to purl another 2. 1 and 2. We purl 8, we knitted 2, now we purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have the last 4 stitches and we knit the last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this row is ready too. So we're going to start this row. Now this row is going to be a bit different, so you have to be careful more. For those who don't know how to do the stitch that I'm going to show you in my ebook that I have it explained really well, but here I'm going to explain too how you have to make it. But if you find it difficult, in my ebook I have this pattern. I also have this pattern of this blanket, and I have explained in pictures exactly how you have to make this stitch that I'm going to show you. And as I told you, there is also the pattern of this blanket in my ebook for those interested to purchase it. We're going to start with the first 4 rows as usual. The first one we put it on the needle and we knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we take another needle. I use this one, I recycled it. It's a needle that broke and I'm using it to put the stitches on it. I'm using it for it, but you can buy one. There are needles that are for that, to buy them. And we're going to put the next 4 stitches on this needle. And we put them on the front. We leave them at the front here. And we work the next 4 stitches. We work the next 4, we knit the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we have these 4 and we put them again. I prefer to put them again on the needle to work them. I prefer to put them again on the needle. And we have to knit them. We knit these 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is the first cable that we have. Now, we're going to purl the next two. 1 and 2. Now, we purled these two, as you can see. Now, we arrived. Here we made the cable, the first cable. We knitted those 8, we put them on the needle. Now we have the next 8 here. And the next 8, we're going to knit them. The next 8. These we purl them, we're going to purl them, sorry. The next 8 we have to purl them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we purled these 8. So I'm going to explain again. Here we made the cable. We put the stitches on the other needle. Then we purled 2. We purled 2 and we purled 8. We purled them because here it's going to be like this. We purled 8. So 2 and 8. And we're going to purl the next 2 again. These 2 we're going to purl them too. 1 and 2. So the cable, we purled 8, we purled 8. Now the next 8 we're going to do like with this here. We're going to do a cable. So we take the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We put them on the front like this, and we knit the next 4. Those we leave them on the other needle, and we knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We put these 4 that we put on the needle again on the needle. I prefer to put them on the needle again. 2, 3, and 4, and I work them from the needle, and we're going to knit them too. We knit them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that is another cable that we made. As you can see, here we have this design. We purled these we purled them too, these 8. Here we purled these two. Here we made the cable. The cable, you continue like that. Then the next 8 you're going to make like this one. You alternate. The next 8 are going to be like this one. Then the next 8 after you're going to make a cable. Then the next 8 you're going to make again like those. You continue like that. You alternate. And we're going to knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start the next row. The first one, we put it on the needle and we knit the next 3. Now, we're going to purl the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This is where we have the cable. And we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. Now, the next 8, we're going to knit them too. We're going to knit the next 8. So we have 2 rows like this. Like this we have 2 rows. So we knit the next 8. 1. Here we knitted them, these 2, and these we knit them to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to knit the next 2 again. So here on this side we have 2 rows with a knit stitch here, these 2, as part of the design. Now we're going to purl the next 8 where we have the cable. We're going to purl them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Here we have the cable, so we purl them. Here you repeat. Here we have these 2 rows. We made these 2 rows. That is part of the design. So after the cable, you have to make those rows. This is the cable. After that, you have to make this again, knit 2, then you make knit 8 and knit 2 again. You have to alternate 1 cable, 1 this design, 1 cable, 1 this design. And we finish with we knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And this row is ready too. Here you can see how on this side how they came, these 2 rows, and the cable stitch. You alternate. After the cable you make that row, these 8, then you make the cable, then again these 8. You continue like that. Now we're going to start the next row. The first one we don't knit it, and we knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to repeat the design. We knit the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We purl 2, 1, and 2, and we're going to knit the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We purl 2, 1, and 2, and we're going to knit the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we knit we're going to knit the last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We start this row. The first one we put it on the needle and we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to knit 2, 1 and 2, and again we're going to knit 8, to purl 8, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And we're going to knit the last 4 as usual. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We start the next row. The first one, we put it on the needle and we knit 3. 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We're going to purl 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We're going to purl 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. We arrived at the last 4 and we're going to knit them. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We start the next one. The first one, we put it on the needle and we're going to knit 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to purl 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We start the next one. The first one, we put it on the needle and we're going to knit 3. 1, 2 and 3. Now we're going to knit 8. We knit 8. Now we're going to purl the next 2. 1 and 2. Now again we knit 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we're going to purl the next 2. 1 and 2. and we knit another 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We arrived at the last 4 and we're going to knit them. The last 4 we're going to knit them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We start the next one. The first one we put it on the needle and we're going to knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. Again we're going to purl 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to knit 2. 1 and 2. And again we're going to purl the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We have the last 4 and we're going to knit the last 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start row 20. The first one we put it on the needle and we knit the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now this row we're going to use the other needle like we did before. We're going to make the cables. So we put the next 4 on the other needle, we put them on the front, and we're going to knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now these 4, we put them on the needle again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to work these 4 now. We're going to knit them. We knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the next 2 we're going to purl them. 1 and 2. And we're going to purl the next 8 too. We're going to do like these 2 rows here. We're going to purl them too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to purl the next 2. 1 and 2. Now we take the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We put them on the other needle on the front, and we're going to knit the next 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And these 4 we put them again on the needle. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to knit them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we have the last 4 here, and we're going to knit the last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. and this row is ready too, as you can see. We're going to start this row. This is the last row of the pattern. The first one, we don't knit it, and we knit the next 3. Now, we're going to purl the next 8 where we made the cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to knit 2, 1, and 2. And we're going to knit the next 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we knit the next 2. 1 and 2. Now, we're going to purl the next 8 where we have the cable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We arrived at the last 4, and the last 4 we're going to knit them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, these are the rows that you have to learn. Now, these are the rows that you have to do. Now, then you start again from row 14. After this row, you start again from row 14 and you continue to row 21. So, after this row, you go to row 14, continue to 21, then again row 14 to 21, row 14 to 21, always repeating this pattern that I showed you. So this is the blanket that I made before. As you can see, I started from the blanket. I didn't start from the cable. And this pattern that I showed you, I started from the cable. And here the blanket that I made, I started from these. It's the same. You can start from the cables and you can start from the other 8. It's the same. Even here it's different. Here I made knit, and here the blanket that I made the purl. Now for those who are going to have the book, if you're going to have the book, the pattern, it's like this one, like the one in the blanket. It's like this one, the pattern. The only but I started with a knit in the pattern, not with a purl. I started with a knit like I did here, and here I started with here, not with the cable as I told you. But it's the same. If you want to start with the cable, it's going to be the same. Cable or the other. You can choose the way that you start. That's the only difference. The way I started. And even at the beginning here I showed you with knit. Even in the pattern it's with a knit. And but otherwise it's all the same. You can choose what way you want to start it. And as I told you, here I made purl. I started with purl, and here I started with knit. I changed it a bit. Even here, all knit, and here, even in the pattern, you're going to find them like that. Now, at the end, when you finish the length that you want, you are ready with the length. You will have to knit the last 6 rows. We started with 6 rows knitted. So when you have the length that you want, the last 6 stitches have to be knitted. So the last 6 rows have to be 6 rows knitted. So you have the top and the bottom the same with 6 rows knitted. So hope that you understood what I showed you and that what I was doing, and that you try it. Bye for now.